I accidentally hit the off button on my computer. But what I was saying is that a lot of this Monterey cypress that we're looking at here, this particular guy here, is not really kind of native, or it shouldn't be in this area. The plant that actually should be in this area is this guy over here. I'm not going to get into this, but it's I think this is California sagebrush, or it's California sage, and it's dying out. This is an example of what we call succession, where actually the organisms that are able to kind of grow here first, like this particular organism, start to die out as we see another species kind of succeed it. Now, normally in this area here, this wouldn't happen because there's usually lots of fires, and these trees burn pretty easily, and so we wouldn't kind of see them. But again, now with us human beings here, and with us stopping the fire, we actually see these plants that are starting to die over here are that. So I was going to walk a little bit with you guys. Normally what I would have done is we as a whole class would come out here and do the walk, and I would do my little nature guide for you. But what I really want to do is over the next coming week or so, I want to see you fill out the document that I gave to you, the field trip document. And I want you, spider web, my face. I got to watch it here. I'll give that document to you. And then what I want you to do is to fill it out and show me the area that you live in. I'm going to try and get up to a spot here. You can look at it. So it's about 9:10. And what I am going to do, normally don't recommend this. Okay, still walking in the woods. I don't see a trail. I'll see a trail in a little bit. We'll be able to get to it. So as you can see, I'm fairly heavily in the woods up above Pacifica. I can see there's the Pacific Ocean behind me over there. And then there is kind of Maury Point over on this, no, not that end, over on this end over here. It's a little bit inverted backwards, so not what I'm used to. Again, you would say that this is a pretty natural kind of place. And we're going to look at some of these things in a little bit. But what I wanted to do is to show you kind of where I am. So this would be the kind of big reveal. And so right now I'm in this kind of natural area. You can kind of see behind me. And then what I will do is I will go up and we can see. And I'm out of breath because I'm old. Sorry. And then what we can see, if we look at it here, this is Building 17, our environmental sciences building that we have. And so we are truly on a national park. It's truly kind of a beautiful area here. You can see that all behind me. And what I want you to do is kind of be able to kind of look at the areas that you're at and see. But before I do that, I wanted to take a look at a little bit of our campus. Here, as you can see, the campus is totally shut down, and I'll go in a little bit. All right. So right now I'm kind of walking in the woods a little bit. Before I start, does anyone have any questions? So let's see on chat. Is any questions on chat? Okay. So Nelson asked if we can just do it virtually. And I would say no. Oh, I sat on something. What did I sit on? Oh, it's a It's a slug, right? Oh, I almost sat on that thing there. That thing is kind of big. No, sorry, Nelson. I would rather you kind of go out and walk. Again, if you really don't want to do that, you really don't feel safe doing that, then I think you can do it virtually, but I'm not necessarily going to support you on that. So if you find the information, wherever you get the information would be good. But I think it's good for all of us to kind of go out and see. So that would be good. Any other questions? Okay, we have about 11 people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my desktop. I'm going to go on and so here is my desktop. New share. So what I want to do, sorry about this, I'm not doing the best job at it. What I want to do is share my Google Docs. Can kind of everyone see this? Thumbs up, yes, no. Does anyone see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So what I've done is I'm in our Bio 215 document, and if we go down to, this is lab number 32, the field trip. If you click on the field trip, I see a number of you may have even started this, may have even done this. If you go to the template of local scrub, what I would like you to do, kind of remind me my glasses are here. I will put my glasses next to, the slug. So hopefully he won't steal them. What I'm going to try and do is show you kind of what's going on with the lab report. So here's this lab report. So what I want you to do is click File, make a copy. You're going to make a copy and put your name on it. So put my name on it. Okay. So I have my copy there. You guys are all good at doing that. Again, you put your name in it. I would like, yes, it'd be great for you guys to work in teams, but considering the situation, we're not going to be working in teams. Put in a date that you kind of go outside, or as Nelson said, if you want to go online, but I prefer that you go outside. This is 03/18/2020, biology. So this is the biology 215. The purpose is to purpose is to observe the natural world around us, observations, date and time. Okay, I'm gonna go on. We could do that. The temperature, as you can see, I'm wearing clothes. It's actually cool, but it's not necessarily cold. So I asked, I said, cold, warm, or hot? And I should have put in cool in there. It's cool. I don't know what it is. I don't expect you guys to have a thermometer. If you have one, that's great. You can do it. If not, that's all right. All right, too. For windy, what you may want to do is take a piece of, if you notice, it went down a little bit like that. So it is actually a kind of light wind. I'm on the top of the hill, but we can see a little bit of a light wind. And I am just west of campus, so the wind is coming from across campus. And so that is an east wind, a light east wind. It's early in the morning, so it's a little bit overcast. I wouldn't call it foggy. I suspect in another hour or so, it will get bright and sunny, but let's just put this overcast. And like any typical day at Skyline, it is it is relatively cool and overclass. Describe the so on the next one, it says, describe the vegetation pattern for your location. Download a map and indicate which vegetation are located near. Give the locations in the public land, private land, and national park land. Okay. And so what I would do here is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to use Google, and you can use Google Maps or whatever like that. And so what I'm going to do is just get a map of Skyline College. And if we look at this particular map here, I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to go back. Okay. I'm sorry, I lost where I was at. Where it is I'm losing it. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Next, copy the template. Control V. So I'm going to alter this a little bit. Okay, so we have this map here. So here's a map, and I can load it, give it land. So this is the area that I'm in is actually going to be a combination of land from the area that I'm in, and then let's go down here. So that's this particular document. If you want to edit that document, so in this one here, you know, I can crop the image, etc. Do a number of different things. I can put it in here. But if we want to look at this, I am in particular over here. So I am basically I'm having trouble looking at this. I'm on the opposite side of this. Okay, this is kind of the new building 12 that's up here, and I'm just kind of on this side of the building 12. So I'm right up there. So we could take a look at this. This area here is a combination of kind of national park land, part of the Golden Gate National Recreation, and in this area. And so what I want you to do is to give me a map of roughly where you're at. Take out your phone. Okay, I have my phone, and I'm going to put on a camera, and then you want to take a picture and describe what the indicator plant is. And so I'm going to do this right here. I have my picture. I'm going to kind of upload the picture. It's uploading right now. And so insert image, photos from my phone. And so what I did is I uploaded my picture. And then what I want to do is I want to look at kind of on this area, what is an indicator plant? And so I put on here is a description of indicator plant. A bioindicator plant is one Biointerest, any species, group of species whose function and population or status can reveal the qualitative status of an environment. For an example, copepods. All right. And so basically the plants that I'm looking at here, and these guys here are basically these guys here are the Monterey pines. They're an introduced species. This area here is kind of not really in its natural state. It has been perturbed in some ways. And basically the reason is this area here is usually what we call a coastal chaparral. And it's no longer a coastal chaparral because we actually prevent other things from being here and doing this. And so I gotta move you a little bit. Sorry, guys. All right. So let's go back to our list. And so I did a picture. That's the indicator. What evidence do you observe? This is indicator plant. This is the most prevalent plant. Okay. And we'll do that. Locate some mosses on trees or other structures. And so what we want to do here is, okay, my friend, the banana slug. I'm going to take my glasses back. So what I want you to do is to go on to and see some trees. And that's why I'm kind of up here. One of the reasons why I'm here. And I'm going to go a little bit into the forested area and look on some trees. This is the hard part. And so if we go here, I'll put my phone down here. And hi everyone, this is Nick again. I'm gonna look at a tree. So here's a tree here. What was that? Something that doesn't like me being here. Hear that? That is either a squirrel or a some type of bird that doesn't like me being here. But anyways, if we take a look at this tree, and I'll take a picture of it as well. But what you may notice is that in this area here, you may have heard kind of the old wives' tale that. So I'm going to take a picture on one side. Bear with me for a little bit, and then I'm going to take a picture of the other side. You may have heard the old wives' tale that moss only grows on the north side of the tree, except around our campus, in which you can see that basically this stuff is growing all over the trees. And so that's what I want you to kind of do and take a look at. So again, in your area, it may be a little bit different. There are actually some truths to wives' tale, and we can do that. So what I want you to do is sit down and take some time and just observe your area. So if we look at here, observe the area and do the food chain and start here. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of sit in this area. And if I'm sitting down in this area, again, we heard the bird or the squirrel that didn't like me being here. If I sit and just be quiet, I can maybe see him or her or it and get a picture of it. I see some coral. Okay, I see some coral fungi. There's lots of different lichens inside of here. Ooh, this is a nice little moss that I have in here. Make sure you kind of put it back. And so what I want you to do is to kind of sit down in your area and look. And I'll get a bunch of different pictures from this area. I'll try and look at that, and you can say, here's a little baby seedling gymnosperm that's going to replace these trees that are up here. Well, this one won't because I just killed it, but we'll have that. So what I want you to do is to kind of try and develop your own food chain, right? So go and take pictures and tell me what you see. So in my food chain, probably what I would have here is kind of all this stuff that I'm sitting on. Detritus is being eaten by that banana slug that you see. Again, I heard it, I did not see it, but there's a bird or a squirrel in here that's not too happy about it. And if I'm not talking, it may come out and we may look at it. And so what I want you to do is to kind of look at that food chain. I then want you to take and draw and label your food chain, saying primary, secondary, tertiary consumers at that. Am I recording this? Let me stop sharing for a second. And yes, I am recording this, so let me go back and share. And so what I want you to do is to give me a little food pyramid and draw out kind of what's going on in your environment. And so a lot of this will depend on kind of what you're doing. A lot of what you're doing may depend on kind of your individual area inside of there. And so as you can see, this area that I'm in right now doesn't have a lot of undergrowth. So we see a lot of these trees. It's in a windy area up on top of the promenade overlooking the campus. So there's kind of not a lot here. And I'll move in a little bit. The next thing that I want you to do is to look at what I'm calling at microhabitats. So I would like you to try and find a big rock or something like that and kind of turn it over. Oh, here's some stuff. Here is a fungi that came out in the rain, and there's been something kind of eaten on it. I don't know what's particularly eating on it. And if there truly are squirrels here, I should see kind of some of what they've been eating. And now I'm gonna kind of get up. I wanted to walk a little bit. I'm looking for a big rock to kind of turn over. Again, I've walked just a few steps and I'm more in a clearing, and you can actually see the blue lupins. And so the mission blue butterfly, this is classic mission blue butterfly habitat here, kind of right behind me. The blue lupins are up, and actually we may see some of those butterflies go a little bit. But again, I'm looking for a rock to turn over to look at some of the little microhabitats that you can see. And actually we can do a rock, or we can do another piece. Aha! I think I see a rock that we'll be able to look at. We'll be able to take a picture of it. You can kind of see where I'm at on campus, kind of right here. Sorry about the pictures aren't that great. And I'm gonna go down here in this area that we have here. I'm gonna give you a picture. So these are some great ferns on here. If you can look at where my hand is. These are some great ferns, and they have some sori. We looked at the sori a little bit. God, I wish I had these kind of last week when we looked at this. But I'm going to lift up this rock right here. And what I want to see is kind of what's underneath that rock. So I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to take a look at it. And basically, I see a lot of nothing. I would rather you kind of lift up a rock. You know, make sure when you do this rock stuff that you put the rock back. And if you look at it, I tried to put the rock back. And what I'd like you to try and do is, if that rock shows nothing, then try and do another rock. But again, what we're looking at here is, so in the microhabitats, I wanted you to kind of tell me, see what's underneath the rock and tell me what some of those organisms are. So you may have to do several rocks in order to find something underneath there. So if you find nothing in the rock, that's not good enough. You need to keep on doing it. The next thing that I'd like you to do is spend about 20 minutes in an environment. And so if you looked at it here, I just went a few steps and I went from being in a kind of a pine forest into being in kind of an open glade with lupins that are flowers in there. I'm going to go on a little bit more. I'm going through an area. Oh, we have a major downed tree fall here. Kind of an interesting area. And then we're going to go on. Oh, there's some really nice things in here. And we're going to come to an area here. What's this? So the Environmental Sciences Building, they wanted to develop an area where we can actually kind of look at our campus and use our campus as kind of a little experiment. And that's basically what we have here. So in the future, we'll probably be able to have some outdoor classrooms here. But in terms of nature, this area has been decimated. You know, and all the materials and stuff are gone out of here. There is lots of really beautiful stuff around here. I see people not practicing their 6 feet list. But here we have our campus. And if you can notice, what I'm pointing at, they've kind of closed everything down. The parking lot's kind of really empty. What I wanted to kind of get you to look at here is our campus is in a bowl. There's a bowl over here where our campus is. And actually what used to happen is all the water would kind of go in this bowl. It was a very marshy area, and there was a couple of streams that kind of left our campus that historically have been kind of mulled over. I may try and look at those sometimes. But what I want you to do is to find an area. And so kind of right behind me, you can see an area. And what I would like you to do is just kind of sit down and for about 20 minutes, you know, this is critical. And Nelson, this is one of the things that you can't get when you do it online. I really want you to kind of sit down for 20 minutes, really look around you at what you see and kind of observe the nature that's there. Snail. So obviously, you know, it may have died of old age, but it probably died a little bit more interesting death there. But what I want you to do on these is 2 times. I want you to kind of sit down. I want you to give me a picture of the area. Give me what compass direction you're looking at. So again, I'm facing, if I have a picture right now, I'm facing direct east. Give me a thermometer reading. If you can't, give me whether it's warm, cool, or so it's warming up before. Give me the humidity. I think it's just kind of normal humidity here. Give me the number of different plant species. And so if I look around behind me, I have a greatly reduced number of species. I would take a picture of those and try and list what some of those are. And then what I want you to do is to give me the most abundant plant, the average leaf area of the most abundant plant. What you want to try and do is kind of measure, you know, how big a leaf is and tell me what this area would be. For the needles, you know, there's not a lot of leaf area on that. So I'm looking at pines and cypress around here. And so I'm not seeing a lot of that leaf area, but you will be. Again, I'd like you to see any ferns. And if we saw in there, there's the ferns actually really like the understories on the pine trees. And near the bottom of the pine trees, you'll tend to see a lot of ferns. Although in the area that I'm at right now, I don't see a lot of these ferns. So take 20 minutes and sit down in an area and really try and look at what you have. Try and see the birds, try and see the nature that's kind of in that area. And then what I want you to do in this spot here, compare and contrast to 2 areas that you picked. Give me evidence of human impact. Again, I can use a lot of pictures in here. There's lots of human impact inside here. And then again, what you may want to think about is what did this area look like 50 years ago? Or maybe even you could kind of go online and look at what it is. Again, a lot of people don't know. So does anyone know what the Golden Gate Park used to be? You see all that forest that's there in the Golden Gate Park. Does anyone know? Can they pitch up? Was the Golden Gate Park always a forest? And so they went there and they cut down some trees and they called it a park? this is where it's kind of really nice to kind of have you guys kind of give a little bit of feedback.
Wasn't it sand dune? Was it sand dune or no?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Thank you, Jesse, for doing that one. It was basically all sand dunes. And so they went down there and they leveled out some of the sand dunes. They brought some dirt in and they watered it. And then those are the plants that they have there. So that's so thank you for doing that one. That's great. So these things in the Bay Area here, the nature has really changed a lot. Around our campus, up in the hills, it's a lot more natural than it used to be. Although around in our campus, it is very changed. And so what I would say, it used to be a lot more of this kind of coastal chaparral around in this area here, which I'm starting to see less of here. Even in the time that I've been here at Skyline, it's gotten less because a lot more of these cypress and the Monterey pines have kind of come up. I would then like you to define the following: plant community, climax community, indicator species. You may want to do that before so you can use that in your talking. I want you to list 5 animals that live in your area. So in the area that I have here is we have the land snail, the common snail. We have the banana slug that we saw over there. I wish we had more. There was that squirrel that was yelling at me inside of there. Try and give me a name of it. And if you can give me a picture, that would be great today. And then I want you to show me, if you do kind of go outside, please go outside. I want you to show me a picture of what you're doing and kind of if you're having any fun at doing it. And so that would be my activity. It should take you about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to do this. So go outside and kind of spend some time, take a lot of pictures. On this one here, I'll try and put some pictures. I'll try and take some pictures before I leave from here, but there's not a lot going on. So I will give you till about next Tuesday to do this lab. I've been taking, I videotaped all of this stuff, but I want you to fill out the lab. Do the best that you can. I'm not going to be grading this very exact, and I never really did grade this particular lab very exacting anyways. And so let me know. Next week, the online labs, we're going to be doing the mitosis. And so what I'm going to have you guys do is draw some cartoons and stuff like that to do mitosis and send that back to me. We'll also have a demonstration, and I'll have some slides that you'll have to analyze on the blood typing. And then after that, I'll have some pictures of mammalian skulls, and you're going to need to identify the mammalian skulls and look a little bit at their interactions. We're then going to have our break, our 1 week spring break. Hey, is anyone going to Florida for spring break? Yeah, I thought so. But anyways, we'll have to see. We have some online simulations that we may be able to do. So if we are still in lockdown, we're going to be doing some. We'll have to do a little bit more of those online simulations, and we'll look at it. I'm still talking to Kevin, but we're going to kind of greatly modify your research that we're doing. And as you can see on the campus, I mean, it's locked down, and they've got it all shut down. I haven't tried it, but I suspect my key doesn't work in the door and stuff like that. I can't get in and kind of look at anything. And so if this happens past the next 2.5 weeks, we'll have to do a little bit of something different. But bear in mind, we'll survive it. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me? Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing right now. Okay. Anyone have any questions? For the previous labs, did we need more data? Yes, I think I'm going to get in there next week, and what I'm going to try and do is get that last data. So we have the flatworms, the Platelmethes, the planaria. Sorry, the planaria that I cut. I really want it because those heal back, and it will be neat to see that there's 4 individual ones. And so I'll see we can get that data, and also that root tip should be a little bit longer on that. So I'll get that data I'm trying to get special things from the dean to get in by Tuesday of next week, and so I'll do that. So that particular lab won't be due for that one. Do we need to find a map and compass? No, just kind of go to Google Documents or go to Zillow. Is it Zillow? Yeah, Zillow, where you can find how much housing costs, and just find a map of an area and get kind of an aerial map. Again, I'm not going to be there. I don't know a lot of these places. So if you say that's, if that's east, for the most part, I'll believe it east. So kind of look at it. And so if you're there in the morning, in the general area of the sun is east. And so if you have your right arm to the sun in the morning and you look, north is your face, south is the back of your head, and west. So just try and do the best on all this stuff, on temperature and everything else like that. If you guess, tell me a guess, or say cool, warm, hot, cold. Again, that's all relative. Is anyone watering our poor little plants? Yes, we have Christian who's in today. He's watering the plants. I was actually kind of sick for the last couple of days, so I'm trying not to go in and do that stuff. I probably could go in today, but I want to kind of keep a little bit more isolated. No, I did not have a cough and stuff like that, so I didn't even bother to get tested and stuff like that. So do we have to be in groups, or can we share what one person finds with others? Let's say if it's several people cannot meet at the same location. So sorry, Sierra, no. I would like you to kind of do this independently. A lot of this is kind of you independently going out. As I can see from all of your pictures, you guys are looking kind of rough. When there's not people around, some of you kind of really let yourself go. I'm an example of that as well. So I'd like for you to kind of go out and experience this yourself. And then definitely when you're kind of sitting down, if you have a bunch of people, stuff hides from you. What may be really amazing with this is, due to the decreased activity of us human beings, go out and sit down and you may see stuff that you've kind of never seen before. And so, I'm amazed at how empty the campus is. And when this campus is empty, the raccoons come out, the ravens are out. I've seen coyote, I've seen a lot of deer kind of walking around. I'm surprised I don't see any now. So it is amazing. So do that. Does anyone else have any questions or anything? Okay. So Sierra had those on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record this. I will be available kind of online. Probably text me a little bit. I will give you my phone. Please don't call me at 5 o'clock in the morning to pick you up from a bar or something, but 650-255-2364. So if you have any questions, we'll do that. So no, I'd rather not two people go to a site and do the lab together. And so, I'm feeling, so Nelson asked me if, do you have to do it outside and can't we do it virtually? And for the most part, I can't force you to do anything, right? That's what it is. So if you think I'm forcing you to go out of your house and exposing you to coronavirus, then don't do that. Do it online. What I'd rather not is, we do need to practice this social distance thing. So I'd rather you not do that. If you guys, so I'd rather you kind of do this one on your own. So try and do that. So the bars are closed. So yeah, no, you won't be calling me when the bars are closed. But if you have a question, you can text me at 650-255-2364. Especially during this time where we're supposed to meet. I'm going to take some more pictures and stuff like that here before I go, and I'll put a few of the things that there. I don't want to put exactly what I want in there. For the most part, what I want you to do is basically I'm having 3 areas where, number one, you're going to sit down and you're going to look at an area and you're going to develop basically a food pyramid of who eats who in that area. Again, you may not see a hawk, you may not see a coyote, you may not see some of the top predators on there. So take what you see and tell me what you have, or if you want to go online. The second thing is, I want you to take a look at kind of 2 micro environments. Tell me kind of what's there. What do you observe? In 20 minutes of just sitting down, what do you observe? What's around you? What's within sight distance of you? And then I want you to compare and contrast those two. A big part of this is just using your observations, going out in nature and observing things. Anything else? No, I'm sorry I couldn't see all of you guys out. It's St. Patrick's Day, which is my National Heritage Day that I like to go out and do stuff. And we weren't able to go out this year, so that sucks, but that happens. You guys be safe. You want to talk to me or anything like that, just go ahead and you can text me on there or you can email me or whatever. I'm going to log out. I will post this up as soon as I can. I will post some pictures. This will not be due until next Tuesday, right? So if you don't get I would strongly recommend that you get out today and you do it today. But if you can't, you can do it at whatever time that you want. I do realize that some of you are at home, and when you're at home, you're doing family stuff. And so thank you for taking the time of being out here. And that's it. So Jesse, good to see you. Thanks for turning your camera on. It's very good to have something to kind of look at while I'm doing this. So thank you.
Nelson's asking about the due date of the other two labs.
Of the other two labs. Let me go back and look at it. So let's say next Tuesday as well. Let me try and get in there because basically some of the data is not there yet. While I've graded kind of most everything else, I haven't put it up online yet. So I will be putting all that stuff up online for you to guys to look at. If I misgraded one of yours, made a mistake or something like that, start emailing me back that, and then I can go ahead and fix that. It's a lot harder to fix that after you get a grade and you're like, oh, well, you gave me a B+ instead of an A, which I should have had because this lab is 5 points off. It's a lot easier for me to fix that stuff now than after grades are in. So please go ahead and take a look at that. So yes, I will post those. You guys have an exam coming up a week from today. How's that going? Okay. All right. Well, it will be online. Okay. Catch you guys later. Thanks a lot for coming out and spending about an hour with me. So bye now.
Thank you.